Yeah, I like I said, we believe we have a handle on the issue, on the challenges that occurred on election day. The device itself, in terms of the product quality, is of very high integrity. That much we have demonstrated and we have proven. So what accounted for those challenges that you saw? And again, I am a bit sensitive about the use of word generalizations. Where you had challenges with the card reader, honestly, is less than 1% of the 155,000 voting points that we have. So it was the other places. It is because these particular places were, again, why it was so unfortunate is that part of the places we had challenges were high profile, actually highly embarrassing case, like what happened in Otobe.
The precedent.
Like what happened in Otobe. And you see, when you had such a thing, it overwhelms every other thing. So you really fail to see that it really worked in other areas. But here, it didn't work. And that much has been acknowledged, and we live with that.
Okay, Mr. Do, I'll just stay with you for a little bit. There's a video making the rounds on social media. Maybe you have seen it, of people sitting down somewhere and just thumbprinting. I mean, how possible is that? Are those votes valid? Could they possibly be in light of this use of card reader?
I will explain that to you because similar thing happened in the Enugu East Senatorial District.
Yeah, but let him explain it.
Can I explain it better than him?
Oh.
Because he was in the headquarters.
He is there.
No. Yeah, but I was on the field. I covered a lot. I have election monitoring tag that I covered a lot of places. Let me give an instance in Enugu State.
Mr.
The ex-governor of Enugu State, Chimaru Kennamani, he was contesting under a party he registered called the PDC against PDP, against APGA, against APC, and against all of that 14 or thereabout political party that's registered for the East Senatorial District. He won that election, and what the people did was they cordoned off the collation centers. And luckily there were some smart boys that videoed it and even got one of the candidates for the federal house in that same area with over 4,000 PVC card readers. And then in another section, there were people done printing, as you said. What a lot of people, and that's why I'm happy that if there should be an advertorial on this issue that there will be no room again for manual. Some people in certain areas in the southeast, for instance, deliberately refused to use card reader. They just said it's not working. And it's working. For them, they are used to done printing. So they don't rely on the people and their votes. So if there's any way the commission can issue both in radio, television, that please, anywhere anybody says is not going to use the card reader, let the commission know. It's a deliberate act to rig. Because you can imagine a party, for instance, that said it will rule for 60 years. Suddenly, it's dominant the party. We of the Conference of Nigerian Political Parties, we have always advocated that democracy is not a revolution. That is incremental in growth. Because if you're looking for the middle ground, you must meet candidate to ask him what does he want. You must meet Iwaya to ask him what does he want. You meet Larry. By the time you come to the table, we are talking of the middle ground. That's what democracy is talking about. And a lot of people do not want a middle ground. They are used to family affairs, where issues are treated as family affairs. So we of the CNPP were saying that since Nigeria has reached a zenith of democracy, we do not want a system where the PDP or APC will move. We don't want anybody to have two thirds in the National Assembly. We need a balancing force whereby there will be negotiations at every time. We don't want party affairs, that this party is the largest in Africa. Don't be largest in Nigeria. So what we are trying to say, Dr. Iwaya, you are preparing the ground for those who will say that the thing is not working. Because they know that Kayode and his master will not come down to Eke in my village. They will just send wired information that is not working. It's not working. What is happening to
Mr. Edowu has said all that is not going to happen next week.
No, I'm telling you what will happen on the ground.
No.
I know like in appointment. I know like in appointment. I'm talking about the official of the ruling party in appointment. And he said, Karida should come for the next election, not this one. In presidential, he paid them in Rivers State that Karida was not used. They might insist. That's the truth of the matter. Will not be fight we engaged in the southeast. Because the last meeting we had in the south, we said, even if you don't add extra votes, please, don't allow them to pad. If they can stand their ground, you have to talk to the leadership of the major political parties. Because some have cued their mind that please, leave this Karida alone. If you use it, we are going to fail. So tell them it's not working.
Let's hear Mr. Gunano. Mr. Gunano, the card reader has been described. In fact, we spoke to one of the officials of the U.S. government who said that the card reader is an innovation that Nigeria has taken up. That even they are appreciating. It's a good thing that Nigeria did. So they are even looking at Nigeria now. And one other person actually said that voters card in Nigeria is better than the one they have in the US. Good ideas. Now, the question is, would these tools be used effectively going forward?
Well, like Mr. Osita said, technology has done very well for us in Nigeria at this point in time.
The world.
Let me talk about Nigeria now, because you mentioned United States of America. You don't need card reader, you don't need anything, because all of you have social security number. So you cannot vote twice. There's no way you are going to do it. And it's even allowed, you may be in Ghana, their mission in Ghana, you can vote. Your social security number, if you want to try a second time, it's not going to work. So they have a system, they've developed a system for themselves. So Ghana used card reader for the last election, right? Mm-hmm. The similar problem which of course we face now, when the test run, they have faced similar problem. But the degree of honesty is different. In Nigeria, it's a do or die thing. Like Mr. Sister said, I mean, just imagine a party that said, okay, for the next 60 years, we want to be ruling. No, when it's down on you that you are going to lose that within 16 years, so you have to do everything humanly possible. So that's where human factor comes in. Like Mr. Edowu said, in some area, it's not that the card reader is not working. They just deliberately left it. In Okeogun, Oyo State, the card reader was actually working, but people resorted into using of incident form when the signal came that they can use incident form. And you know what? That's another thing you need to check. Some of these politicians, they've collected PVC, uncollected PVC. You may not know. And the party agent, they were not checking faces because they were not allowed to check the faces. And that's where the role of law enforcement and security comes in this area. So because some of them, I don't know, the right to give to the party agent, did not even allow them to move closer to where the electoral officers were working. So they were bringing these cars and they were voting. They are filling incident form. All those things, they have to look into that. So with this technology, which of course we discovered, the issue of card reader, I think it's going to advance us forward. But we have to be vigilant also, because in Nigeria, we always find a way around everything. We always find a way around everything. Like, it's possible, people will be researching on that card reader. It's possible. I'm a security expert. I know they can hack the card reader. They can stop it from working. There could be deliberate sabotage to ensure that card reader is not working that very day. So we have to improve upon that to ensure, that one takes us forward. So, but the most important thing, like I said, the degree of honesty is different. For the presidential one, we're so divided. Some people want this one. But this local one, which of course we are going to do. In fact, INEC must ensure that they provide enough security, because we are going to see that different. Because those who rejected card reader the other time, they won't card reader at this point in time because they know that it has worked one way or the other, and they have people. So with that, there's going to be friction. So it's very important that INEC beef up security for this coming election on Saturday. Okay,
Mr. Edo, you've heard all of this, but let me read this out to you. Someone said this. It says, despite the returning officer, Dr. Chukwugoziem's advice for a rerun of Abia North Senatorial District, the result was announced by the Director of Media and Voter Education, INEC Headquarters, Umahia, Edwin Enabo, after a committee set up by the Resident Electoral Commissioner finished reviewing the issues that led to the delay in the announcements as scheduled. According to Enabo, the three candidates of the People's Democratic Party for the 3 senatorial districts
were returned, while the 8 federal house were also returned. PDP has 7, while ABGA has 8. We read earlier that there were irregularities. Mr. Chukugoziem, this is just Abia, based on what he said about irregularities. Mr. Chukugoziem, returning officer for Abia North Territorial District, says the process was characterized by massive fraud and irregularities in the 5 local government areas that make up the Abia North Territorial District. Yet the results were announced. He talked about thumbprinting and
In Enugu East.
in Enugu East, and someone caught with 4,000 permanent voter cards, and he's insisting that the card reader be brought in.